Now you're looking live at Kyiv, Ukraine, as the world marks 1 year since the Russian invasion into the country. And this just in, the U.S. has imposed a new round of Russia sanctions in coordination with G7 allies on the anniversary of the invasion. Thousands of people on both sides have died, and entire Ukrainian cities have been reduced to nothing but rubble.
Experts say that while the war looks like a stalemate, both sides are still in an intense battle. People living in the east are being impacted the most.
And there's an estimated 800 to 1,000 casualties a day right now. At the moment, both sides are dependent on munitions and supplies from other countries. Ukraine is looking to the West for weapons, aid, and other supplies. Meanwhile, Chinese leaders could start sending supplies into Moscow. Some people say that the war could go on for another year, with Ukraine relying more on the West over time.
Most people agree that both sides are dependent on munitions and supplies. And there's speculation that Russia is running low on supplies while Ukraine is in dire need from the West, from its European allies and the United States, for more weaponry and munitions. In addition, the prospects of a negotiated settlement are dim because Vladimir Putin has shown himself to be untrustworthy, and most people expect that he would not honor any agreement, even if he were to come to the negotiating table.
An Eastern European scholar and political sciences professor at UNC Chapel Hill, Milada Vachudova, joining us now. First, thank you for taking the time to join us, of course, on this tragic anniversary.
Thank you. It's great to be back. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. I want to start here. 1 year later, many people didn't expect this to last more than a week, a month, a year now. How much does this speak to the resiliency of the Ukrainians and the leadership by President Volodymyr Zelensky?
I think many people on the ground knew that Ukraine would fight. But you're absolutely right. It's very impressive what the Ukrainian people, what the Ukrainian government, the Ukrainian military have managed to achieve. It's been said many times, but it's important to repeat it. You know, if the Ukrainians stop fighting, Ukraine will stop existing. If the Russians stop fighting, then the war will end. And so your previous speaker, a colleague of mine, mentioned how both sides are dependent on the outside for arms, but it's important to understand the Ukrainians are fighting for democracy, for freedom, and they're fighting for NATO because Putin very clearly has his eyes on NATO members as well as Ukraine.
Well, Milada, it seems that Vladimir Putin is preparing for a long, brutal war. It's hard to imagine when this really ends.
That's right. It is hard to imagine. I feel like the Ukrainians are absolutely going to continue fighting, and we are going to continue supporting them because this, as we saw in the UN yesterday, with 140 UN countries voting against Russia and for the removal of Russian troops from Ukrainian land, you know, if the West was to pressure Ukraine to stop fighting, it would set a terrible precedent that would come back to haunt us many times over. A large imperial country that wants to not only take the land of Ukraine, but also eliminate Ukrainian identity, that can't be allowed to stand. And I'm very grateful to the Ukrainians for fighting.
Milada, I have to ask, President Zelensky said this morning that they're pushing for victory in 2023. Last year was about resiliency and standing strong. This year is about victory. What could potentially push Ukraine over the edge? Is it more pressure from other countries? We know the UN passing that resolution. What would it take?
That's a great question. More arms. We are doing a very good job of sending arms to Ukraine, but we're a little late, right? The arms we're sending today, we should have sent a year ago. That will help speed up the war. Second, sanctions. We have a lot of sanctions in place, but there are so many loopholes. So we could do a lot better on sanctions to drag down the the Russian economy, which is continuing to grow, actually. Third, we would like to see some division within the Putin regime. Close to 200,000 Russians, men, have died, in a senseless war. Ukrainians know what they're fighting for, but what are Russians fighting for? these young men are dying for nothing, and casualties are huge. Up to 200,000 have already died in this war. So we'd like to see some dissent within the inner circle of Putin's regime. We haven't seen it yet, and that's a tragedy.
Milada, do you think we really know the true scope of the casualties of this war over the last year? Because it seems like we get different numbers. We really don't know what's happening in terms of Russian troops and numbers there.
We don't know, but there are pretty credible estimates now that the Russians have lost between 150,000 and maybe even 200,000 troops. What we really don't know is how many civilians have died, especially in occupied Ukraine. The areas where Russian troops have come in, destroyed everything, kidnapped children, tortured and executed people, places like Mariupol, we just don't know, but it's in the tens of thousands.
Milada, this is the deadliest war since World War II for Europe. And I know you specialize in talking about post-communist Europe, European relations. If you can break out your crystal ball, if this ends, what does post this invasion look like for European relations? Where do they go from here?
On the destruction of Ukraine and the number of civilians, children killed is just really tragic. But in the medium term, I think we will be grateful to Ukraine for fighting and standing up to Russia, because it has already had some positive impacts, right? NATO has never been more united. The United States, the unquestionable leader of NATO in the free world. Around the world, people are looking to the US again as a country that's ready to stand up for democracy and liberty. Inside the European Union, we're seeing cooperation among European states, which the United States always wants to see, at a level that we haven't seen in years. And so that unity, and also the extraction from dependence on Russian energy, also means that Europe is more independent and ready to stand without being dependent on a genocidal regime in the Kremlin, to turn on the gas. So these are, in the medium term, I think, positive impacts. Also, the removal of the Kremlin from the information environment. A lot of countries since the war have taken steps to get that Russian propaganda out of their immediate information environment.
A lot of people hoping for peace. Milada Vachudova, professor at UNC Chapel Hill, we certainly appreciate your friendship here on the show, walking us through what's happened over the last year. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.